Hello, welcome back to Aether. This is Satomi and Paul from sakaso.ca. And hi, was that Steve already joining us? Thank you very much. And Scott, sorry, I just saw it. One more S. Sorry, Scott. Yes, I knew that was you, but I got the name wrong. Sorry. But Happy New Year if we haven't got connected since New Year started. So yeah, we are doing today. What we're doing is tip to reach your goals. So we covered same kind of thing last week, and we are kind of continuing and partially recapping a little bit, but expanding more, and then tip what you do to reach your goals when you are struggling. I know that some people struggle to reach your goal. You got the perfect.
I got like alfalfa hair today. This morning.
Yeah, so reaching your goals can be struggle. Setting the goal can be struggle, and this is like it's been 2 weeks since New Year has started, and some people already feeling like again this is not working. And,
yeah,
right?
New Year's, everybody's got their New Year's resolutions, right? Or so many people do, and they're not easy, right? They're a challenge.
Yeah, if it's easy and you can just get it, it wouldn't become a New Year's resolution,
wouldn't be a
right?
thing.
Right?
Try to build yourself up to.
It's a challenge. It's something that higher than that you can just grab, and right. So that's why it's your goal. That's why it becomes New Year's resolution. So yes, it's not easy peasy, and then boom, it happens, right? So there are gonna be challenges, and then we're facing challenges, and some people can get motivated. Yes, I'm gonna do it, and keep motivated themselves. Some people lose motivation and no, it's okay, this is okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be the same, right?
I know how that is.
So yeah,
I've had a mix, right? But there's so many things that have been so hard over the years, and I've not succeeded many times. And it's by learning strategies and adjusting strategies and trying new tools that's allowed me to get past so many different things that were very, very hard for me. And that's why we're going to have today's episode. We're going to share some of those things with you.
And tips what to do, because when you're losing motivation, because there are subconscious blocks, right? To not able to keep motivated, not able to keep doing that everyday thing or whatever, that you set the goal. I'm going to do this every day, or I'm going to do this. I'm going to study Spanish every day for 30 minutes, and you set the goal, and I go, no, I don't have time. That's not going to work, right? I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm going to do 1 hour instead of half an hour today and half an hour tomorrow. I'm going to do 1 hour, and then next day comes and no, I cannot do it. That doesn't. Okay, this is not working, right? And then that happens because there's a block, and different blocks everybody has, but there are blocks. That's why you cannot reach, and then we're gonna talk about how to remove the block and overcome the block, so you can stay motivated, so you can reach your goal, right? So that's what we're gonna do. And this year, like we talked about it, this year is a year of rabbit. It's the year of jumping forward fast, like a rabbit jumps, hops, right? Not they don't walk, they hop, right? Instead of walking towards your goal, you can hopping, jumping towards your goal. That goes faster than normal year, and all other things like align. So moons and stars and all the universe. This year is really year of moving ahead and reaching your goals. And so that's the year. And I got
Just ignore
distracted with the rabbits on the screen. So that's really this year is the year that you set the goal, and then you can reach the goal faster than you think, or you can go beyond. So that's what this year is. So we want to take advantage of this, the energy, right? Some people don't believe it, but I know I was like,
well, these are like those the animals for these Chinese zodiac, right? They're there for a reason, and it's a very ancient culture and wisdom. There's a lot of things that aren't easily explained, and you can easily dismiss it and just say, "Oh no, it's not what we think in modern life," those,
But what zodiac signs like you are what?
I'm Sagittarius.
Yeah, right, and then Pisces, right? And everybody knows probably what they are. And if you read the character of those ones, it matches, right?
It matches me very well. It matches her, like they wrote the textbook based off of her. They just looked at Satomi. You go look in your astrology, reference website or whatever, or book you got there. They wrote it by just looking at Satomi, just knowing her life.
So it's like
she's like a Pisces.
The day, month, and the day you were born. That's the what's it? Zodiac.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah.
So and then it creates kind of your basic characteristic, right? If those moons and stars and the earth and all the universe doesn't mean anything, it shouldn't match, right? So there's something there, and then year of rabbit and all other stars, the motion and something aligning. I don't know the detail, but they said this is really a big year. So we really want to take advantage. This year, we're gonna reach a goal, right?
Yeah.
So
can I mention something? Can I throw a wrench in here? It's not a big one, just for a second, but you mentioned motivation, right?
Right.
And I just wanted to share something that I hadn't shared this with you, but I just saw on YouTube. I saw Joe Rogan being on a show, and he said that motivation, you don't need it. And what he said is what you need is discipline. Because he said, like Joe Rogan, he's like a UFC, like Ultimate Fighting champion.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. He's very big into martial arts, right? He knows his stuff. He's a very good fighter. And he's not. I don't think he does any fights now, but he's a little older. But he said what you need is discipline, and because he said that he's most of the time he's not motivated to work out. He still keeps in great shape, right? But most of the time he doesn't want to go work out on his work for his daily routine. Doesn't want to do it, but he has the discipline to go anyway, right? And then once he gets going, then he gets into it and he loves it, right? So it feels good once he gets going, but just getting there is that's a very challenging part of the whole puzzle. Is just getting there. And I'm going to share with you, Stormy, have some trick, like a trick at the end, we're going to walk you through it, they'll help you break it down. And oh yeah, this one right here. Let's show that one. That will help you get past that exact issue. Just getting there, just getting in motion.
So
anyway,
Joe Rogan, I think he has a good point, but I'm not 100% agreeing. Like you need discipline and not motivation. For some people, yes. Some people, no.
Yeah, I think that's valid too.
So, say for Joe Rogan, it's easier for him to have discipline. Yeah, he's a martial artist. Yeah, they know how to get discipline.
Yeah. If you're an accomplished martial artist, you have discipline.
Yeah, and so that he doesn't.
Not everybody has that.
He doesn't have a block toward having discipline.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Some people have blocks toward having discipline, and then they're gonna need motivation. Right. So it's kind of go together. Right. Once you have discipline, you can motivation, like he was saying. Once he gets there, he's gonna get into it, and then he wants to do more. That's motivation, right? So discipline is pulling motivation out. But some people they need to use motivation to have discipline come out, kind of thing. So anyway, so I know he's got a good point, and I agree and also disagree. Yeah.
Oh, I actually I agree with you. I think they both have their place, and for him, he does it that way. That makes sense. Scott wrote a couple of comments here. He's an Aquarius. His Chinese animal is a monkey. So I guess you're saying, Scott, that applies to you. So it'd be interesting for you to comment and let us know how that applies to you. But you also said here that you have to keep your goals realistic, and that is 100%. That's something I wanted to touch on today.
Yes,
couldn't agree more.
Really, really important. Yeah, and realistic. Yes, you can set the goal, the big goal, have a big dream. Big goal is good. Like we mentioned last week. Big goal is good, but you want to have small goals. That realistic goal that you can do right away. Right? Otherwise, you look at the goal. Oh, it's so far away. It's fading away. Right? I don't know I can get there, and then no, I'm just gonna let it go, and I'll just sit here and enjoy my coffee instead of getting up and going get some exercise. Right? So. And realistic goal, it's really, really important. So where should we start? You can talk about this again, discipline and motivation, or we can talk about why you are not staying disciplined.
You
keeping
you decide.
No, how do you say? Am I saying it right?
Disciplined.
Disciplined. So staying disciplined, staying motivated.
Yes.
Okay. So let's say. So why? Let's go with why you are not staying disciplined and not motivated. Like I said, we have these blocks that we didn't know that we have blocks. We tried and it's not working. And try set the goal, and then you're not gonna you haven't achieved. And this year is gonna be the year, and you set the goal and you didn't achieve. And this year I kind of got it, and I fell back, but I kind of felt that I was able to do it last year, but I fell backwards, and then it just didn't reach. So this year I'm going to do it, but you're doing it for many years, right? And then
I know that one.
you kind of get close and kind of go far, and they're just moving. I'm moving forward and I'm moving backwards. I go 2 step forward and 1 step back, 2 step forward, 3 step back, kind of thing. It just repeats, right? And so you're thinking this year, but if it's been hard and because there is the block and subconscious mind. And then I was saying discipline and motivation. I agree with Joe Rogan, but I disagree that you don't need to have motivation because there's, let's say, 2 kinds of people if you just pick discipline and motivation, like he's talking about, right? So you don't need motivation, you just need discipline. Those people who can have the energy to move yourself by having discipline, that's their strength, right? So using your strengths, and then the other thing comes, right? And then if the people who's so people who doesn't have the strengths in motivation, trying to come up with motivation and excitement, and then yes, there are some blocks there, but if you have a straight line, good clear path on discipline, and then you use discipline, and then you can pull the motivation up, right? So he's got that clear line with the discipline that he found it. Lots of people don't find that the strengths that to use, right? And so they get stuck. But he found that that's discipline, that he can really use it to move heavy stuff, right? It's like a little stick and a rock, and then what do you call this? Lever, right? So if you try to move a big rock, that motivation, you can't use it. But hey, I have a stick and a rock, and that's the discipline part, and I can move this big rock, right? But some people doesn't know what they have, doesn't know how to use the stick and the rock. So
yeah, well, I think also like in some case like Joe Rogan, he already knows and probably has had coaching on many other aspects of achieving goals, right?
Yeah.
So in other words, like you started at the beginning, don't just set yourself one big giant goal, make it realistic, so break it down into pieces, right? And you want nice small pieces. That's something that you can do regularly, right?
Yeah.
And we'll talk more about that at the end. But there's a lot of different tricks that you can use. We shared lots of them last year, right? Just that, and that was the one that he needed, right? Yeah. All he needed was to ignite his discipline, right? And once he discovered his discipline, because he really had it, then that's what worked for him, right? Having all the other things in place. So if somebody has discipline, they've got motivation, but they don't know the other techniques, then that can be a gap for them, right? So it's like just practical things that can get in the way. Like you said, we were talking about earlier, is that you just want to write it down, right? Just writing down your goal makes it more real.
And then you instantly own it, you commit in yourself. Okay, this is my goal. As soon as you took it out of you, right? Like by writing, it's outside of you, you see it, right? If it's internal, nobody can see it, even yourself. You can pretend that it wasn't there,
Yeah, it could just
Right?
be like a dream that you had the night, last week. It was interesting, but now you're on to real life,
Yeah.
right? Or it could be just a passing thought that you had, because it's gone, because you didn't write it. There's nothing to evidence that it was your goal, that it was real ever. So it's so easy just to let it go.
Yeah.
Right? So writing it down
Then so
makes evidence.
Some people refuse to write it down because
That's a commitment.
Yeah,
right there.
that's a commitment.
That's a partly making it real.
Yeah, making it real.
Yeah.
So if you are refusing, some part of you refusing, oh no, I'm not gonna write it down. There's a block, and by writing it down, you are facing your block. That's one way of removing a block, right? So if you really want to do it, write it down, and so you can start to remove the block, right? If you don't write it down and then you are keeping a block, you are having setting yourself up, giving yourself a chance to have excuse. Oh, that wasn't my goal, really. It's nothing, right? So you're setting yourself up for the runaway door, right?
The escape hatch.
Yeah. So you keep in the escape hatch.
Yeah.
For yourself.
Exit door, or whatever you want.
Without writing.
Emergency exit. Whatever you want.
Yeah. So if you feel in that way, or tell somebody, this is my goal, right? That you can feel the resistance. There's a because there's a block, and then you are keeping the escape door open for you, right? And so, but you are by telling someone or writing it down, you are closing. Okay, this is not here. I'm gonna own this goal, and I'm gonna face it, right? So that's one way, one first step of achieving this goal. And then when you're feeling the resistance to do it, any steps, any parts that setting a goal or walking toward the goal, right? Almost there, but not getting there, right? Any stage when you feel a resistance to keep moving forward, there's a block, and it just in general, it's not just one block that we can pick, right? But in general, the block is there because of the past experience. That's something that didn't go well. Maybe you did well, but you didn't receive good feedback. You got judgment from people that's, oh, anybody can do that, right? That's nothing. You have to go
It's
up
like,
here.
I lost 2 pounds, right? And then somebody goes, yeah, well, I lost 10. Right? It's like,
and then
you did? I lost 10.
You feel like you're a failure instead of being successful person. Yeah. So exactly, it's just the feedback you receiving made you feel you are not doing a great job, right? You made some improvement, but some feedback you received told you that wasn't good enough, right? And then you are receiving a message,
or that it's just entirely wrong to do it in the first place, right? Just whatever, misguided. Why would you want to do that, right? Or something like that, right? Anything like that.
Yeah, right? If you are having a big dream,
or that's not how you do it, right? Any of those kinds of things, right?
So those judgments, right? And from outside, other people that created the blocks, right? And that could be lots of different blocks, but in general, you somehow for some reason you thought you were not good enough, you were failure. So that's
So what you're saying is that when subconscious blocks can be there, and you can tell that they're there when you do things like write down your goal, or tell someone else, or start doing it and have trouble with it, right? That kind of thing. It can reveal itself that way, right? So that's when you can tell that there's a subconscious block there, because that's how it shows up. If you're having trouble reaching your goal, if you have a reasonable goal, right, and it's generally, doable, not a crazy goal, and you're taking a sensible approach, but you just can't seem to make it work for you. You can't stay on track, whatever. That's another indication, right? That's a clear indication. So what you're saying is you get those subconscious blocks because of past experience, negative past experience. Just to put it very simply. I hit the ball.
Oh, you hit the ball.
So that's exactly right. I mean, your subconscious, it's designed. One of its primary goals is to keep you safe, right? So safe from negative experience, safe from pain, safe from disaster, whatever. Keep you alive. All of those things.
Yeah. So when you try to write down, subconscious is telling you,
there's
don't
resistance.
do it, don't do it.
Yeah.
And if you didn't reach this goal, you're going to receive the judgment. Somebody's going to tell you some negative stuff, and you don't want to hear those one anymore, so don't do it, right? So subconscious mind is protecting you, and that's the resistance you feel, right? So, but is that true? That's not what you want, right? You want to reach your goal, and you want to change, you want this, you want that. So that's why you are writing down and telling your subconscious mind, it's okay, this, I want this, and I'm gonna do this, right? So that's you facing your subconscious mind saying, no, this is okay, right? Calm down. That's past experience. Whatever happened, I don't even remember sometimes, right? Past experience is past experience. I'm moving forward toward the future. I'm not walking back to the same past that I walked through. What's coming up is different, right? How would you know I'm gonna receive same negative judgment, right? So you just tell your subconscious mind, it's okay, I am going to write down, and then write it down, right? So that's, you're facing the subconscious block, and then you are aware there's a block, but you're doing it anyway. That's that part you start to remove block, right? So that's one thing. And then I was gonna say something and I forgot, but you can back to discipline, right? Discipline and motivation, it's the same thing. Some people can have discipline and use it, right? But some people have trouble having discipline, right? And because of the block, again, you were very disciplined before, but it got crushed by something happened. Somebody said, and you are working hard and working hard and hard, and somebody said, oh, that's not good enough, right? And then all the work being disciplined, it just crashed to nothing. And then having discipline, it's, I'm not going to be good enough anyway, right? So then having discipline, it's going to be hard, right? So then there's a block. And then again, moving the block is, if you focus on having discipline and you want to be, that's a key of keep moving forward, right? Being disciplined. So if you set the goal and doing this, like running or exercise 3 times a week for an hour, right? So, and then you need discipline to keep doing it, but you lose it. And why? Because there's a block. Sometimes you don't know where the block's coming from, right? So, but you can feel the block, and we do like a that's why we do a medical intuitive session to find a block, but without doing that, sometimes it's hard to see where the blocks is. And so instead of finding a block, you just gonna change what you are doing, and then that can be that helps you to remove the block, right?
Yeah, and so it can be that is the block, right?
Yeah, that
so
is. So
but when we help you reprogram your subconscious mind, there's different techniques. Then you're able to switch from one mode that you're stuck in, and shift that into a different way of being, and that gets you past that block. Then you're able to write down your goal. Then you're able to say to someone else, "This is what my goal is. I'm going to do this." Right? That's when you're able to have an easier time of connecting with your discipline, of finding the motivation, right? All those things, and actually take on and move forward towards your goals, right?
So that's writing it down and saying it out loud. It's partially you're pushing the block away, right? It's not done there. Sometimes that's it, and then you are good. But most of the time, it's still you still feel resistance to have discipline or to have motivation, because of still the block is still partially there, right? And then by changing how you do it, how you approach it, changing those approach is the key, because subconscious mind is controlling your behavior, way of thinking, and how you feel. It's all controlled by subconscious mind. So in a way, you're gonna mess up your subconscious mind. And what are you doing? This is how you do it, right? So then subconscious mind cannot run the regular program anymore, because you're not going with the flow of subconscious. Yeah, go this way, right? And then you, let's say you do it more regularly. It became your habit, but instead of using the mouse with the right hand, you start using mouse with the left hand. As soon as you grab your mouse,
which is something I did, by the way.
Yeah, with the left hand, your subconscious mind, what am I doing now? Right? Because it's not automatic anymore. So you break in automatic movement by just using left hand, and then you have to be consciously connecting to subconscious to move your body, right? So you know what I mean, right? So subconscious is moving your body, but you have to consciously think how to do it. Then you are connecting to subconscious mind, and then ordering subconscious mind, this is how I do it. This is move your middle finger to click instead of index finger. If you
you need to learn.
So you have to
teach your
so
hands all the fine motor skills in order to do it, because you're not used to that.
So that's kind of stopping the automatic motion that subconscious mind is doing, and
But it used
stop.
to be.
Stop. I'm doing this way, and subconscious mind kind of goes kind of blank. Okay, right? So all the program stops. okay, so what am I doing now? Okay, I'm going to listen to you and what you want to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you have a blank page and you're going to write.
Mm-hmm. So that's the thing about subconscious driven behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Is your subconscious mind is all about channeling your energy, your behavior, and your thoughts and everything along the same exact path that it happened yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, just do everything exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it wants to do. So if you're coming at the, like Satomi's saying, if first of all you do a subconscious shift where you change your belief,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that's all that's required
Mm-hmm.
to start going in a different, moving the energy and your thoughts and your
Mm-hmm.
behavior in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it also requires, or many times it does require taking action differently
Mm-hmm.
in your life. That's the rule, generally speaking, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So that you still need to go and do
Mm-hmm.
things
Mm-hmm.
differently in
Mm-hmm.
order to realize and take advantage of the subconscious change.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the ways that you're suggesting doing it is to approach it from a very different angle.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things I really like about how you do it, is that you come up with ways for clients to do things a lot of times in a playful way.
Mm-hmm.
Because the subconscious mind is based on fear,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's a lot of fear and protection going on most of the time. And what it's trying to avoid is negative experiences from the past. So you're carrying around a fear of negative stuff. So it's very heavy, right? Very heavy energy. But if you come at it with, like, we're going to have some fun today. We're going to play, right? This is going to be play. And that old programming that's dealing with all this heavy duty stuff is like, what? And like you said, it kind of like, okay, now I'm ready for new input. So I'm not going to push my old thing and try to do the same thing right here because I don't know what to do. This is play. What are you talking about, right? So that seriousness can be part of that whole momentum of having to do it this way, and being afraid of screwing up, right? All those kinds of things, right? If you're coming at it like from a playful point of view, that's just one example. There's other things you can do.
Yeah.
But that's one example of coming at it from a very different angle, and then change it that you're doing little different things. Then anytime you're bringing play in, generally, right? Because we don't play enough as adults. And you bring a different spirit into it, and that can bring inspiration and a motivation because you're enjoying yourself, right? You're actually enjoying doing what you're doing. So all of those things can come in along with it, right? It's a very different, very different dynamic.
If you get frustrated using the mouse with the left hand, might not work, right? But if you are enjoying, like your body doesn't know how to do it, right? It's okay, it's not automatic. You, as soon as you grab the mouse in the left hand, I cannot use, it's not smooth, right? And that is really good thing because subconscious mind is not at work.
Your subconscious mind was at work, then it would be smooth.
Subconscious mind is running that old program, then it's going to be smooth. It's not smooth because subconscious mind is not running the old program over and over. So, hey, yay, I'm blocking my subconscious program right now. I'm pausing it, right? And then that's your chance to change it. Because right now the subconscious mind is blank, right? Hey, so this is good. It's not smooth. I'm learning something new. This is a chance, right? Put the new information that I lose 20 pounds, right? And I can do this. Right now, subconscious mind is so trying to find a connection, trying to listen what you are. It's all ears, subconscious mind, right? So you subconscious mind is observing whatever you are receiving. So I'm going to lose 20 pounds. I lost 20 pounds already and I feel good. And I'm wearing like a size, whatever, 3 sizes down, right? And I look good in the mirror and look good in this suit or dress. And then you just say that you can maybe click and type and whatever you're doing and while you're using your left hand. That's just one approach, right? One way of connecting to subconscious mind. So don't get frustrated if you do it using taking a different route than your normal route. And then you are like, oh, I don't know what to do. It's a perfect sign that, hey, right now I can change my subconscious mind, right? So use that. And then if you're having trouble having discipline, I can easily do exercise twice a week. You just say it, right? And you write it down, or maybe write it down with left hand. Is that possible?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's possible for me, but I don't know. It's possible for other people.
Yeah.
Maybe typing is okay. Using
For me, that would be a real challenge. But Scott's got some great comments here. We'll get to those in just a second, Scott. Thank you for these. They're great. As soon as you got a break in where you
sure. So
take a conversation
like
here.
Discipline, right? Discipline. If you're having trouble having discipline, stay disciplined because subconscious block. And then we just shared one tip to connect to subconscious mind and then reprogram subconscious. It's just one way, right? And motivation is some people having trouble keeping motivated because yes, you get motivated and then you get disappointed. You get motivated and you get disappointment. That's again from the past experience, right? And so you create motivation, just tiny thing. Create motivation. How you do it is like we were talking about last week. You set tiny goal, and then you reach that goal. When you reach the goal, hey, I did it, right? That motivates you to do the next one, right? So
set tiny goals.
Tiny goals.
Have your goals written down. Set tiny goals, and when you achieve them, recognize it and celebrate.
Check. Yes, I did it.
Yeah, check it off. Exit off this off your calendar, that kind of thing. Whatever it takes. And that's an important one.
Yeah.
I was also going to suggest that along with the element of play thing is like if it's exercise, for example, you can do a little dance, right, or something, right? You can dance is exercise, right? Playing with your dog, running around the park and playing with your dog, that's exercise, right?
Or sitting like in a perfect posture instead of going like this, right? And then you're using your core
muscles, yeah, right? That's a big deal.
That can be an exercise.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, right? And you can use that exercise ball thing instead of a chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are great.
So it doesn't matter, and the tiny goal doesn't have to be actually doesn't have to be a goal. That's the trick. That's a secret. You do everyday thing, right? Maybe you go to work, you drive to the workplace, or you cook, you go to grocery stores, right? You make phone calls, or you go take dog for a walk, or whatever you do. Everyday routine things. Put those one as a goal, your goal, right? Because those things you want to get all those things done, right? And those are the goals of the day. You don't look at that way. You haven't looked at that way before, but those are the goals, everyday goal, right? Going to work.
So your goal is to do laundry,
Yeah,
make dinner,
laundry.
drive to work,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
right? Do a decent job at work,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and it's like you do things, you set the goal with those things you're going to do anyway, right? So if you're going to do laundry anyway, I will do laundry. You're going to make lunch, dinner anyway, but that's going to be your goal, right? And then you write them down and check them off when you're done. And hey, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. At the end of the day, I don't know how many you're going to have. The more you have, the better you feel. And then you feel, at the beginning, you feel like, that's something that I have to do, right? That's the key. If you feel like you have to do, and then you're giving away power, right? But you change it to, hey, this is my goal. I'm going to do this, right? Going to grocery store. Oh, I have to go to grocery store because the fridge is empty. Change it to, this is my goal. I'm going to grocery store. Then you do the goal. You achieve it. You check it. And then you achieve the goal, the day, and so many. And that goes into subconscious mind. And subconscious mind is receiving, hey, I can set the goal and I achieve the goal, and repeatedly so many times in a day. Oh, I'm good. I'm successful.
So it's important to pay attention to what you're saying and break it and just review that for a second. So what you're saying is that there's a lot of normal things that would fit into your day, that are going to fit into your day anyway, right? Getting groceries, making dinner, etc., right? So what you're saying is, if you write them down, maybe you can copy and paste in a spreadsheet or something, right? To make it a little easier, not write them all out every single day. But
right
anyway,
now is important too, because you are moving your body.
Do you want to write all those things down every single day?
If you
Info,
can.
Longhand?
Until, not wrong hand. Yeah.
Maybe
your
like dishes.
Dominant hand.
No,
It's
longhand.
Long
Not wrong
hand.
hand. Longhand.
Long hand.
In other words,
Yes.
write it out.
Yeah, write it out. If you can. If you can. Yeah.
Okay. So
and you're owning it.
and then checking them off when they're done at the end of the day. Sit down and check off. You got 7 out of 8 done that day. Maybe 7 out of 10 done that day, right? And what you're saying is, pay attention to the ones you got done and celebrate them. So, because you might be saying, like, so what? This just sounds like more work for nothing, right? So, but what it's actually doing is it's shifting your perspective on your whole day. So what you're doing is saying, instead of, oh, I have to do all of these things today, just like I had to do yesterday. It's all the same, right?
Yeah. And then I didn't do anything extra to reach my goal.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, oh, I didn't even get to do that. I didn't even get to pick up my dry cleaning. I got to do that today. I was going to do it yesterday, but now I got to do that today too. So everything becomes a have to and a drag, right? So what you're saying is, you flip that all upside down and say, these are my goals for the day. This is what this is what I want.
Regular things.
The regular things.
You're going to do anyway.
These are my goals, and I'm going to be motivated and disciplined to achieve these things as much as I can, right? Maybe you end up not picking up the dry cleaning that day too, right? But still, that's fine, right? Because what you're doing is you're checking off the other 7 things that you did, and you're then taking just the instant to say, like, yes, I got dishes done.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I made a really nice dinner.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed this dinner. It was a good recipe. I think I'll do that one again.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I picked up the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good. They're not still sitting in daycare.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yes, I did a decent job today at work, even though nobody recognized it necessarily.
Yeah.
I recognize it.
I did.
And I did a good job.
Yeah, I did a good job.
Yeah.
And then
that person enjoyed, the customer came in and they enjoyed interacting with me, and that brightened up my day. Check. Right?
Yeah, even if you don't receive any great feedback or anything, you did it. Right? That's important, and those things you're gonna do anyway. You don't need so much discipline, you don't need so much motivation, because you're gonna do anyway. You've been that's just part of your day, right? So you don't need to be motivated to get those things done. And
so what you're saying is you're changing your perspective. So now it's a positive perspective instead of a negative one. That's huge by itself.
Yeah.
By itself, that's huge. Second, you are getting that endorphin or that dopamine and all that kind of stuff.
Those hormones.
Those accomplishment hormones that you get when you're checking off your list
and
from doing all those things.
That's like a dopamine. It's motivation.
Yeah,
right?
It's very powerful for creating subconscious programming, right? That creates subconscious programming. That's why people get hooked on drugs, right? That kind of thing. You're kind of creating a drug out of your day, right? Just
the natural
because you're
one.
you're doing the natural way, right? And so you're making those ordinary things into accomplishments, and you're reinforcing and celebrating that, reinforcing it. You're reinforcing the knowledge that you do have discipline, and you are creating motivation for doing it the next day, because you are getting a positive experience instead of a negative experience out of your day. So you're recognizing your discipline and realizing that you have it, and you are creating motivation, and you're creating a subconscious program. And it's because you're doing it every day, and that becomes a new habit.
You're capable.
That strengthens you, right? And you are. I was going to say one other thing. Can't remember what it was, but it's all good.
Yeah.
So, so Scott has some great comments here.
Okay.
So I love all that. He's had to remove some negative people from his life that created problems, and doing what you were talking about. So I think what you mean, Scott, there is that they were demotivating you. They were like working against your best interest. You can tell me if I'm getting this wrong from our past conversation, but they were not the best influences in your life, and it was important for you to create a healthy boundaries by, in this case, removing them from your life. And that's an experience that I can share as well, and that's a necessary element in some people's healing path is to do exactly that. And you want to be able to work with people wherever you can, but if you know what the story is, and it's important to be realistic, right? We get these dysfunctional relationships and dependencies, codependencies, and things like that in our lives, and it can set us up for a world of hurt, right? And completely get in the way of our goals. So relationships are a huge part of goal achievement. It's a huge part of what we work with so many of our clients, is creating healthy relationships with the people that are close to us, right? Healthy boundaries, ensuring that there's respect and love and all that kind of thing to whatever degree is possible, and where it's not possible, that's where the healthy boundaries come in, right? So that relationship, the first relationship is with yourself, right? And you got to be realistic and own your own bullshit. that allows you to see other people's BS, right, as well in more clear way. So I couldn't agree more, Scott. And for you to be able to do that took a lot of inner strength, and you accomplished a major goal there by doing that, right? And you broke so many subconscious programs that were keeping you in those relationships. So it's a huge accomplishment, and I couldn't encourage that more.
Yeah.
Well, he says he's going through it right now. So yeah.
And then I just want to make a clear bridge what we were talking about earlier, like a list daily goals for with what you do anyway, right? And so you're going to do anyway, laundry, cooking, and going to work, and other stuff. But how this is going to help reach your big goal is just because this is removing the blocks. Again, just clarifying, this daily exercise is removing your block. And so you have discipline, you have motivation. If you have discipline and you're always motivated, you're gonna keep moving forward until you reach the goal, right? The blocks that you're feeling, that is the blocking you to move forward. That's what had happened in the past. That's why we're just focusing on removing the block. How you do it in simple way, not pushing yourself to do it. That push didn't work, right? Being hard on yourself, work harder, it didn't work. So that's why just coming back here today, what you're going to do, what you're going to do anyway, right? It's not something to do with a goal, but something that that happens all the time, and something easy to do, you used to do, and then you just can do it with your eyes closed.
I would disagree with you on one point there. It's not that what we were talking about earlier about kind of coming at your daily life in a different way, and making it positive and all that kind of thing is, I think that is reaching everybody's goal, which is creating happiness, right? So by creating a positive experience out of your day instead of a negative one, you're automatically creating more happiness in your life, and that's everybody's goal.
Yeah,
right?
but some people don't see the connection. Why that's why I'm making a bridge.
And that's why I'm saying it's connected to your happiness as well.
So and then but some people don't feel it's a happiness, right? So that's why we are changing it. Come here and then pick what you do anyway. So it's not the big goal, not the new goal. It's something that you've been doing for 10 years and 20 years every day. And that now it's a goal. You just look at the goal. You look at them as a goal because they are the goals, right? And then instead of saying, oh, I didn't do this extra stuff that I wanted to do, right? And then you are sending subconscious mind a message that you don't have time to do things that you want to do, right? And because you're not efficient enough, you didn't have time, or you're not good enough, right? You're not capable. That's the indirect translation that subconscious mind is receiving negative messages. So instead of sending subconscious negative message, you're going to send positive message. This is my goal, and those are the things I'm doing today, and write them down and check. Hey, I did it. And then you are sending subconscious mind positive message instead of negative message. It's 180-degree difference. And then you are naturally just creating the motivation, and then discipline is because you've been doing this for 10 years and 20 years. It needs discipline, right? And so that's rediscovering your part of motivation and discipline, and then you're gonna naturally feel it, and then setting a big goal, you're able to do it because motivation and discipline naturally it's going to come out.
That's going to happen, but also there are ways to kind of sneak in your bigger goals into exactly what you're saying as well. So in other words, if you're checking off that you made dinner and celebrating the fact that you made dinner each day, because you've been making dinner anyway for 10 years, right? And you start to celebrate it and make that your goal, then you can start to sneak in like, oh, well, maybe I can shift it to a little healthier type of dinner, right? And gradually work that in, right? So it's not necessarily KD, right? For dinner, maybe it's more veggies, right? That kind of thing. A little more cooking, a little pushing your cooking skills a little bit, right? Just you don't have to be radical, but you made dinner. You made a little bit healthier dinner. You put some celery in there. So I mean, seriously, you can if that's a goal already and you're working a goal, you're doing it anyway. You can just shift the focus a little bit and start pushing it over into the territory where, and believe me, once you get more of a healthy diet, once that switches in there and sneaks into your there you go. You're already in a healthier lifestyle, if that is one of your goals. Right? Overall, it doesn't have to be I want to be healthy, right? And make that something out there. You're bringing it down to earth and making it real by taking the sneaky approach. Right?
So once you became those things becomes habit, creating the list of goals and then checking it off. Right, it's just setting the base, right?
Yeah.
And then you can have goals, more like a really real
goals. You can work with them. Moving the bar a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So shifting perspective,
a little bit higher. Higher.
So you're getting this habit of shifting your perspective and going through this exercise of working through things, right, and checking them off and celebrating your little accomplishments. You can start threading in these other things that kind of set the bar a little bit higher. Scott's got some more great comments here. But I wanted to share one other thing, I'll expand a bit from what I shared last week. So I was talking, and it kind of blends in here. So there are certain ways of approaching and setting goals that are not very good for the psychology of actually making it work. In other words, for so long, I've set myself the goal of exercise for 20 minutes 3 times a week, right? Don't do that. If that's something if you're one of the people like myself who has trouble with that, that goal
if you don't have trouble, go ahead.
Yeah, if it works for you already, no problem. But if it's something you're challenged with, then just shifting it slightly into a slightly different strategy with some psychological tricks makes a world of difference. So in other words, what I'm trying to get at is this: I've shifted it from, instead of 3 times a week, 20 minutes or whatever, it's 5+ minutes every single day. Right? So what am I doing for 5 minutes? So I can be just stretching, I can be just doing balance, I can be doing a lot of different things. I can be walking, I can be doing, I'm practicing karate as well. But once I get moving and do the 5 minutes, it's so much easier, because then I've discovered my motivation and I'm into it, and I can do the other 20 or whatever, right? It doesn't always work that way. Some days I'm having a rough day, and 5 minutes of stretching is a bigger accomplishment than an hour of heavy exercise on a day where I'm feeling great, right? So but that 5 minutes, that counts, right? That's all, because that's all I wanted to do was 5 minutes of stretching, right? So, but I'm doing something every single day, just a little tiny thing, and I'm checking it off, right? So it's like, it's right in keeping with what Satomi was saying about checking off and having some small achievable things. You can sneak this one in once you're used to doing you're checking off the things you're already doing. You're not adding anything yet at the beginning, but then after a while, you can add a little something, 5+ minutes per day, whatever that thing is. I'm talking about exercise, but it could be meditation. It could be, if you want to become a writer, you could be writing for 5+ minutes per day. So
studying something.
Yeah. So you could be reading the source material for inspiration for 5+ minutes, or you could make your goal. That could be part of your goal. You can work it in that way, or you can make your goal setting pen to paper for 5+ minutes per day, and then you can think about it for during your moments, your pauses in the day, right? So while you're having a little private time in the bathroom, kind of thing, during your shower, you can think about what you might want to write the next day, and you can look at it, and it might be just junk what you wrote yesterday. So what? You wrote for 5 minutes, right? Maybe 3 words that you can keep, just 3-word phrase. That's a major accomplishment, because then you can hey, that little phrase, that's something I can build on. And then in the shower, you can think about maybe doing it, and then 5+ minutes you're setting pen to paper the next day, right? That's how you can actually start something rolling. And if you're doing it for 5 minutes, that's maybe all the time you have one day, and the next day, and the next day, maybe all the time you have. But then the other one, you got 30 minutes, because you've got the habit going of doing something, right? And you're not discouraging yourself. So you can be applied to anything like that. And there's some goals that are more chunky. In other words, you're either achieved or not achieved, right? Like home ownership or something, right? Maybe that's your goal. Well, actually, you can break that down too, right? You can break it down to, I'm going to save up, $50 a month or $50 a week or whatever, right? Toward that. And you can also break it down into other things, so that you can work on your career, your next career move, in order to make that possible, right? But in other words, you can write an email. You can do something for 5 minutes each day that moves you closer to that goal, whatever it is. And that can be 5 minutes of visualization. So if nothing else can fit into that 5 minutes, you can still do the law of attraction visualization stuff for 5 minutes, right? So any goal you can work into this kind of plan, and you can make big differences. Yeah.
So, hope this information tips help you, and the key is set the small goal. Just small goal that you can do today, every day, right? And then you are moving forward, right? Be realistic, make it achievable, and then a first step and the next step instead of looking at the far end of the world, your big goal. Just right here, what's your next step, right? And then focus on your next step, and then boom, you are there at the finishing line, right? That happens. So good.
So and like we were saying earlier, if it is still hard to get there, then it's because it's subconscious beliefs, right? And what we've told you is an actual technique for rewriting subconscious beliefs. You're switching your perspective into a positive one. You're reinforcing yourself on behaviors that are going to help you achieve. You're creating a strategy that's doable, that's realistic. So for me, like I shared with the exercise thing that I'm doing, my only goal for 3 whole months was not to get anywhere with my exercise. It was simply to do it for 5 minutes and to keep coming back. That's it, right? And simply do that. And so I set a nice low bar that I couldn't fall off of, right? Couldn't help but achieve it. So those are great ways of shifting your subconscious beliefs. But if you're still having trouble, then other things can be part of the picture. Like we're saying, relationship stuff, right? Self-image, right? Self-worth, fear of failure, fear of success, any of those kinds of things can come into the picture and can make it hard for you. And if that's the case, you're still running up against those kind of barriers, then you can schedule a breakthrough session with us. Just go to our website, sakuso.ca/breakthrough, and we'll spend the time with you. It's a completely free session. Set aside a couple hours on your schedule, and we'll be happy to walk through it with you and share with you what we got. You can also schedule services. If there's something like a reading can help you. So Satomi can sit with you and help you understand what it is that's getting in the way, right? And so you can schedule a session with her for reading. And so thank you for stopping by. We'll see you next week right here on Aether at 4 p.m. Eastern next Sunday. And thanks for coming. Take care. Bless you. And good luck with all those goals. Cheers.